Okay, guys, it's Reed, the ex crazy guy. All right, I used to be crazy, so I know how people get, and I got out of it. Right, so I know how people get crazy. I'm someone that, and don't think I just think shamanism is crazy. I just think a lot of people that get psychic go crazy. Okay, witchcraft removal. Hello to all. As the title says, is there any spiritual practices or techniques that are really effective in removing witchcraft spirits from a person? I'm dealing with witchcraft spirits. Okay, first off, like 99% of the time when someone jumps to the conclusion like I'm dealing with witchcraft spirits, that's their big ego thinking they know exactly what's going on. And you want to know what happens when a big ego does that? That belief is taken into the astral, into the higher mind, into the subconscious mind, and it's played back to you, right? In my mind and causing a lot of suffering in my life. I've gotten past the pity party stage and now I'm at the solve the problem phase, but I don't know what works well for this. Just randomly awakened to it one day and I've been studying how to deal with these issues for the past few years. So randomly you had an experience and then you started to say these are witchcraft spirits and that belief gets played back to you and then you have more opinions and more beliefs about it and the belief gets played back to you again and then you read more dogma about it which gives you more beliefs about it and gives you more experiences about it, and a couple years go by of this bullshit. I even tried certain magic rituals to see if that would work, like cord cutting, cleansing, baths, banishment, angel protections, but none of that stuff really works. It feels like it just covers the problem in my case. Yeah, you want to know why none of this stuff works? Because you believe you're believing this stuff and you're consenting to these experiences. Everything is belief or consent in the spiritual world. If you have an unbalance in yourself that makes you believe stuff like this or makes you consent to things like this, then you're going to keep having that problem. Nothing works besides belief or consent. When you do a ritual and it works, it's because you believe the ritual and it's because you consent for the outcome of the ritual to happen. All rituals are just a method for you to use your consented belief efficiently for yourself. But I think it's just magic or witchcraft isn't for me, and for whatever the reason, these types of spirits are troubling me. So, are there any other spiritual practices that can remove or protect a person from these things? You're going to need Carnegio. I suggest one who has a lineage, not one who is first generation doing it for the TikTok. This is a guy who finds meaning in being a shaman. So instead of telling this guy to take control of his free will and to correct his consent and his beliefs, he's going to bring him down the rabbit hole of doing more dogma and more ritualistic things. My studies have been leading me to Latin America a lot. Trouble with finances, but I can never muster up the coins. Trip, blah blah blah. So he has a belief that that would help him, but he doesn't have the money for it. You may be able to find someone local. See, it's just like, why don't you just set this guy straight and tell him to stop screwing himself over? Like, do we not know the first rule of spirituality that everything is of your consent, everything is of your creation, or do we find so much meaning in being a shaman that we let people just continue dreaming? I would suggest grounding yourself. That's a good idea because when you ground yourself, you can take control of your consent and your belief. You're not like a screwball off in the circus of the mind. A nuance, however, knowing the precise nature of the experience bothering you, I cannot give much advice. Then she tells him to do a ritual like that ritual. Maybe that ritual will help for him. Maybe he can put himself on enough that this ritual works. Psychic self defense. What real psychic self defense is knowing that your fucking mind creates astral forms. That's what real psychic self defense is. Knowing your mind creates your astral experience for yourself. You've already tried all this stuff, and the others you've listed, nothing has worked. Try a return to sender spell and a few protection spells, charms, and words. The return to sender spell will send whatever negative energy or entities that were sent back to you to the sender. Well, you know what? Only if the person only if the center if the sent this is like a hard truth for you. Like someone could do black magic on you, and the only reason it affects you is if you consent to it and believe it's real. And guess what? If that black magic sender doesn't consent to having that sent back to him, he doesn't get it back. Surprised his big ego doesn't think he knows exactly what type of witchcraft is after him, but he knows it's witchcraft from analyzing things, aka from believing things and then having that belief sent back to him. Your reality reflects your beliefs, hopes, and fears. Change yourself to change the world. Perfect, right? Like, so you could go like, what is this? This is some trash. Let me throw that away. That's something you could do. Or you could just go like, man, I'm done believing this shit. I'm done consenting to this. And then here's what I had to say. Yeah, I have a true way to get over something like this. First off, realize in the spiritual world, in the spiritual world is of your consent. Everything in the spiritual world is of your consent. Second, realize your beliefs will be taken and played back to you in the spiritual. To put it simply, stop consenting to these experiences, masochistic, without the sexual part, and stop believing in these experiences as witchcraft or anything else unpleasant, delusional, and psychotic. The mystic swims where the psychotic sinks, and I just outlined the two ways the psychotic sinks for you. Think of it like this. Your ego is tricking you into thinking you're so smart you know what's going on, like I'm being attacked by witchcraft spirits. Then your subconscious mind and higher mind and astral takes your ego's ideas and feeds it back to you. It has to, because that's how the mind works. I can explain this more clearly with examples in your DMs, but take it from someone like me who went through all this bullshit. It's nothing but your creation. Having multiple spirit guides. A long time ago, I had an ex that was practicing shamanism. I wanted to know my spirit guide. He guided me through a meditation. I found myself in different places and met 3 different animals. Yeah, you want to know why that happened? Because you wanted that experience. That's why that happened. You like when you get a spirit guide, maybe you get a spirit guide in your past or something, but a lot of times you get a spirit guide because you meditate to get a spirit guide. You're like, okay, universe, I want to have this experience, and they're like, here we go. Here's three motherfuckers that your soul chose with a high intelligence. That could be your spirit guide. That's where they come from. Nothing special about it, except the meaning you give it. And I'm not trying to dog on that meaning. I'm just trying to give you a realistic understanding of how this shit happens and how this shit works. Where can I gently learn more about entities and astral parasites? Your endless psychotic dream about them. I feel like here are many conflicting opinions on astral beings that influence your thoughts and are very good at hiding themselves from being exposed in your aura. I've just been noticing a whole lot of anguish due to these beings within my own field, and also a lot of interest in understanding them more. It feels somewhat that my path involves coming to understand how these things work and how to protect yourself from them. It feels like I'll give a lot of insight and sense of ability to get through this life. Does anyone know where I can learn more about entities and natural parasites? Yeah, learn the first rule of spirituality. Everything is of your creation and consent, and your beliefs are sent back to you. Astral parasite? It's a BDSM fetish you have. You know what I'm saying? It's something you're agreeing to undergo for meaning's sake, or because you're unbalanced and need a metaphor of suffering in your life. Who knows what that guy said? Too long. A lot of this stuff is like just more dogma, just more illusion for you to play with. Self-defense by dying fortune. I'm a guess that that's not like real self-defense. You should like, if it's not really basic, it's just more of a dream to project into your reality. I have a bad third eye. That's your belief. I used to think I had aphantasia. However, training I could see things due to childhood. I'm gonna start a shamanic healing apprenticeship. I'm worried I won't be able to see while I'm journeying. Does anyone have advice for this? Here's something hard to swallow. You don't need to see into the spiritual world because you have a soul and an astral body that does it for you. The only reason you need to see in the spiritual world is for the spiritual world to shape your physical mind. And you don't need to do that. You can shape your physical mind by just like with your will, by just calming down and doing breath work and meditation. And if you want, you can be a good shaman and never see into the spiritual world, because guess what? All you have to do is make way for your soul. Let your soul do the work in the spiritual world. That's all you have to do. You think someone that's astral projecting from their body is better than someone that's just being calm and not doing anything? It's actually not. Your body has a higher ego than you and a grosser vibration, when your soul has less of an ego and a higher vibration, and your soul can do the work in the spiritual world. All you have to do is just let your soul come into your body to get the added benefit by emptying your mind and focusing on love or something like that. Yes, this is possible. You could access dimensions by using psychedelics and talk to dead people. You can do that, but you better but you better be able to see through your own beliefs and want for other experiences. Like half the time, you're just gonna be talking to yourself or talking to someone else that's just acting like the person you want to talk to, because you don't have the balls to actually talk to them. A shaman could help you with this. Shaman could help you with this.